Hello, I wanted to give you an overview of the savings plan project, kind of walk you through how to do the interface here and see if I can troubleshoot questions before they get emailed to me. So for starters, you've got this initial handout that I would suggest that you download and read through exactly what to do. So I'll kind of scroll through this here. And right at the top, it tells you the first thing you want to do is go to the sign up sheet and sign up for some given numbers. And then you want to download the savings plan template. Now you're actually going to make a template and then email or upload that in a spot that I'll show you here in a minute. And then it kind of walks you through the different steps, so you just want to make sure you read that and follow along. And there's some information that you're going to turn in and some questions that you're going to answer after you've created the spreadsheet. So let me go back to where we were in the project folder. So let's go to initial sign up. Now this sign up, you just show up and then type your name. So Mr. Soleil. Now this is a editable document, so everyone is going to get access to this, so please don't type over someone else's name. But that's pretty much how this works. I don't need to sign up for that because I'm going to do some different numbers. And then you want to download this Excel document. Kind of do that, and this is actually what we're going to create. Okay, and then can I show you this document? These are the questions that are at the end of the PDF file that I just showed you a moment ago. But those are the 5 questions that you're going to turn in when you finish the project. And then this is your Dropbox folder. And it has kind of the same information here that you can download the PDF and download the Excel spreadsheet. And then you're going to upload your Excel spreadsheet and upload your answers to your questions. Okay, so at this point I want to walk you through how to actually physically set up this spreadsheet. So obviously you can read this, but if you need to see someone work out the actual project, then that's kind of what I'm going to do here. And I'm going to use these initial numbers that they give us to sort of set this up. So if you want to do that with me, you can kind of see exactly how we generate this. So pull up this spreadsheet here. Make it a little bit smaller. Oh goodness, hold on. There we go. Okay, and so I want to start off with principal of 500, a payment of 25, APR 4.5%, and it compounds 12 times. Now that's my numbers. Obviously you're going to use whatever you signed up for in the spreadsheet. Okay, and then I'm just going to follow along as we go along here. So link by cell reference the total cell of month 0 to the principal gives the box. Okay, so I am going to click here under total, and I'm going to say equals, and then I'm going to click on the principal box, and it will connect that number with it. Okay, and so whatever number I type in the principal box is going to change to that other position. So just kind of show that they are linked together. Okay, next up, now let the principal from month 1, cell C9, reference the total F8. Okay, so that principal is going to equal this number here. And notice, see if I can make this a little bit bigger. As I'm doing this, I should see these same numbers. Should see this number should match that number's over there. So far I'm doing pretty good. Okay, so then go to the interest. So for the interest in month 1, D9, create a formula by multiplying the principal by the given APR divided by the number of compounds. Okay, so I want the interest for that month to be so principal times the APR divided by the compound. Okay, and just kind of show you real quick, it should be $1.88, and it is. And then the payment is going to be the 25. And so at this point, what I want to do is I guess I should continue following directions. Okay. All right, so now add the interest to the principal along with the payment for month 1 to make a total balance. Okay, so I should be adding 500 plus the $1.88 plus my new payment. And I should see 526.88, which I do, 526.88, yay. Okay. Alright, now complete the iteration method by dragging over the principal, interest, and payment from the total cells. Okay, so because I've now got these cells linked, if I did it correctly, I'm going to drag it down and see what happens. Notice I got problems. So I'm going to have to go back and do a little troubleshooting. Let's see what actually kept the same here. And this is typical with Excel. Sometimes until you get familiar with how to use it, you'll kind of see some problems here. So I at least got the 526 to work, but that did not work. And the problem is actually, it's where I told it to look isn't where it should look. Okay, because up here I told it to look at C9, so I told it to look at this number times D4. D4 is the APR divided by the 12. Okay, but in this cell here, it didn't do that, did it? It went to the previous number, the 526, but it went to D5. Now D5 is that 12. It's one number. I want it to go back to the APR, and that's actually easy fix. If I go to where it did work, and I put what are dollar signs around the letter. So put dollar signs around the D's on both of them. Those are what are called absolute cell references. So from here on out, it's always going to look at that cell. And so I can check and see, is it working now? And I got part of it to work. Now I got it to be $1.28 or $1.98, which is what it says in the template there. All right, so the next problem is this guy. It should be looking back up to 25, and it didn't. So let me come back up to the previous cell, and then we do another absolute reference around it. So dollar signs around that D. And now let me drag it down. Okay, and let's see, it should say 553, and it does. So let me drag a couple of more. And let's see, 662.77. Okay, so I think I got it. I think I got this whole thing linked up correctly. And so what I'm going to do is I can do this a couple of ways. I can drag down, and it'll keep filling it in that way, or I can notice where my cursor is. So right now it's a white plus. When it goes to a black plus right there, so notice the shape changes. I can actually just double click that, and it will fill in the rest of my chart. Okay, so that's a nice little bonus feature of Excel. Let's see, so let's go back to our directions and see where we're at. So we got mostly right. Okay, so check for accuracy. Okay, formula. The formula blocks at the bottom of your template follow directions for a savings plan. Confirm that your answer matches the same from month 18. And the Excel function. Okay, so let's go here. We are going to go from month 18. So that number right there. I mean, I inadvertently switched colors on it. Let me do that. Put it back to, I think it was green before. I want that month 18 to show up here. This is, so let me do equals, and then just click that. Okay. Now, obviously I haven't done anything. I just told it to look at a cell, but I'm going to show you two other different ways to calculate that number for month 18. What we've just done is what's called the iteration method. Iteration method is we created one formula, we linked the cells correctly, and I got that number to show up there. I want to do what's called a formula method. And so we can kind of read about the formula here. However, we can come up and we can kind of zoom in a little bit. Sorry, zoom in a lot actually. And we can see that we can very specifically create this formula by linking in cells. Okay, so let's do that. So just bear with patiently on this. Okay, so I want equals, and I want, make sure I got that on the screen there. Okay, so I want it to reference my principal times 1 plus, and that's our APR divided by our number of compounds. And I want to raise that to the month, which is that. And then I want to add to it, so we're calculating how much we get after letting it sit and compound for 18 months in a row. That's sort of part of our payment, part of our dollar amount. The other part comes from the compounded interest. And so that's where this 25 part comes in, because we're constantly adding $25 every month. This 500 piece, that first piece is if we just let it sit there and earn interest without adding anything to it. But we actually are adding a dollar amount to this. So let's see, so that would be the payment times parentheses, and then there's two sets of parentheses, 1 plus the APR divided by the compound. Close that. We want to raise that to the month that we picked, minus 1, close parentheses, divide. Make sure we can see this here. Divided by the APR, divided by the number of compounds. Okay, and if we did it right, the numbers should match the one that we just had with the 99.48, which it does. And then the last part, or the last method, so that's the formula method, and that's using the formulas that we actually learn in class. And it's a little on the long side. But Excel actually has what's called a future value formula built in. So in that one, do equals, and then we do a negative out front, and then it's FV parentheses. Now notice, oddly enough, when I typed in FV, it actually is giving me little hints here at the bottom. You can see those little things that it's asking about. Or I can kind of look over here. All right, so the rate refers to, let's see if I can get this a little bit bigger. Trying to make sure it's on screen with that box up there. Okay, so the rate refers to what percentage rate do we earn each month, and that would be, let's see, D5 divided by D4. Try that, comma, then it's asking for number of payment periods, and that goes back to our 18, comma, then it wants our payment, which is the 25, comma, and it wants D2, which is the initial present value of the loan. Okay, that didn't work. I didn't think so. And I think the problem is right here. I don't think it's supposed to be D5. I think it's the other way around. D4 divided by D5. Okay, yay, it matched. Okay, so now I got all three to match. And now the nice part is if I come up here and change that principal, all of these numbers are linked together. So they all update each other. So anyways, so hopefully if you're able to follow directions, all you have to do now is just go back and answer your individual questions.